it has been a lot of cheesing when it's gone up for the Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron being there. And Harry Douglas, when he joined us, he said that the experiment, since LeBron James has gotten there, even with winning a championship, JWill, in the bubble, has been a failure when it comes to the fact they have not been consistently healthy, have not been a consistent contender in the Western Conference. The injuries involving him, the latest one involving LeBron James, suffering a foot injury on Sunday, could be out for weeks, according to Adrian Wojnarowski, ESPN NBA insider. I don't know if I would use the word failure, but he put it out there, and he said it with his chest.
Are we going to listen to it?
No, I just put it out there.
Oh, you just put it out there?
I just put it out there. I mean, once you say something's a failure, I don't think we need anything else.
I mean, did it meet expectations of what you would consider with LeBron James? No, but I'm not going to call winning a championship in the past 4 years a failure. I can't do that. Whether people want to try to knock the bubble, because so many people have played basketball in the bubble during a pandemic, when there's social issues and racial issues going on in the country. A lot of people have done that, but those same people want to criticize the bubble. Like a champion, everybody's playing conditions were the same.
Exactly.
Were they different than what they were throughout a regular season? Yes, they were different because they were in the bubble. So playoffs, home and away, all that stuff factors into it. But everybody had the same odds on winning a championship. The Lakers found a way to win. I'm not going to call that a failure. What I will call, though, I will call it's LeBron James still moves the needle, but he is one of the few players in the history of basketball that I've seen that can individually, like my grammar school coach used to say this, 5 players and 1 player can't be 5.
Right.
And I'm like, you're right. And then when someone with LeBron, I'm like, but hold on, that 1 player has a chance.
Hold up, wait a minute.
He has a chance. And some of the teams that LeBron James carried through the Eastern Conference, regardless of whether you want to call the Eastern Conference down or whatever you want to say during those times, he carried them to NBA championships. This is no longer the 28, 29, 30-year-old LeBron James. This is now the 38-year-old LeBron James who's still putting up astronomical numbers. So the second part of the equation was the second piece that you needed. Same way D-Wed said, LeBron James, I'm not passing you the torch. Grab the torch from me.
Right.
You're still waiting in year 5 for Anthony Davis to grab the torch away from from LeBron. I just don't think AD has the tools to be that player that can impact the game the way LeBron James or the way Giannis would impact the game. It's a different kind of impact meter.
Right. Here's to that point what you just said. If people are waiting for that to happen, meaning grabbing that torch from LeBron, if LeBron's waiting for that to happen, he can let that balloon go it's not going to happen. And that's why I firmly believe a guy like Kyrie Irving has his eyes on Los Angeles to go there, even though they can't pay him the max money in Dallas. The way they can't pay him the max money in Los Angeles, the way they can pay him in Dallas, there's something about that allure. You brought up about a guy who was a Kobe fan his whole life when it comes to Kyrie Irving. He would love nothing better to go there and represent himself in a Kobe-like way with that organization. But I also wonder this. It's better for him to stay in Dallas. We both agree on that. But does he believe that guys want to come there and play with him and Luka in Dallas? Because there's always been the narrative of the Dallas Mavericks. When they had Dirk Nowitzki all those years, he was never able to find that second guy to be that superstar with him. The fact that he won a championship with Dirk and the Dirkettes is a modern miracle. And when they beat the Holy Trinity known as the Miami Heat with LeBron, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade, we don't talk enough about that championship with the Dallas Mavericks. But it's always been with that organization having a problem finding that second guy. And does Kyrie Irving want to be that second guy in Dallas, or you want to have the chance to say, man, if I go that way, I'll be in the LeBron orbit, but at a certain point, it's going to be my team because Anthony Davis is not that guy based on what we believe.
Well, the thing, if you're Kyrie, and we all know how close Kyrie was to Kobe Bryant, like we all were, right? There is that attraction, that thought of this is where Kobe Bean Bryant played.
Yeah.
Like, you think about some of the greatest Lakers in the history of the game. Kobe Bean Bryant is up there in that upper echelon. That's an infatuation for Kyrie. I mean, it's an infatuation for me.
For a lot of
different players, right?
Yeah, you're right.
I still post things from Kobe all the time. He was a mentor to me. I try to live my life and some of the daily principles from things I've heard him say to me and the way I saw him live on the court.
Right.
So, like, that is the one, like, that law of attraction. It's very fascinating to me around Kyrie in L.A. But I will say to you, can you find the right pieces for Kyrie in Dallas? I mean, you just need you need serviceable pieces if you have Kyrie and Luka on the same team. You don't need another big-name star.
Right. You don't need another big-name star, but you need somebody else. And is that attractive enough? Because they even had troubles attracting those kind of guys the years when Dirk Nowitzki was there. And they were still terrific with the Dallas Mavericks. It shows you the greatness of Dirk Nowitzki. And when Rick Carlisle became the head coach, what they were able to do. They had multiple 60-win seasons where he never had that consistent second guy.
Well, we have a lot of tests going on. So you have a test of the Dallas Mavericks. And what do these next 25 games look like with Luka and Kyrie on the floor at the same time?
Yep.
Everything, every single play, whether it's the hot pocket situation a couple weeks ago, whether it's an inbound play by Kyrie in the fourth,
right?
Everything is going to be criticized and scrutinized down to a T, right? So we'll get a chance to feel what does that look like. It's also the same thing. It's a trial, right, for the Mavericks, for Kyrie, and whether that can work. It also feels like it's a trial for the Los Angeles Lakers and Anthony Davis.
Absolutely.
Right? You got the next 2 weeks, LeBron's not playing.
Yeah.
You realistically, if you're thinking about is AD going to be a signature piece of this team moving forward, you should think with Anthony Davis on your team that you should be fighting for a playoff spot. And if you fall out of playoff contention without LeBron James and AD not putting up the numbers you expect, you have some big questions to ask yourself moving forward.
Yeah, we'll talk about those questions regarding Anthony Davis and also use that pressure word that we all hate now that he is the dude with LeBron James being out for weeks, courtesy of that foot injury. Bart, I'm going to start Anthony Davis, and believe me, plenty of people have opinions about it.
Yeah,
He's got to be the dude now that LeBron James is out for more than a few weeks with that foot injury. What are your thoughts on Anthony Davis having the spotlight all on him in Los Angeles?
I just don't know if he has the ability to carry the team, right? You understand what I believe they're still 13th right now. I don't know if he can get over the hump and carry this team, knowing that, I know they have the easiest schedule remaining, or one of the easiest schedules remaining.
Right.
I just think, losing LeBron James, you lose more than just his scoring and his productivity. You lose his leadership. You lose, I think, a guy that's able to switch off on multiple defenders. But he's the engine. So I think if he can't get back, and if he's going to miss several weeks, I don't even think they'll be able to maintain the play-in. When you think about who they have to play, those probably would have been winnable games. Those are all L's for me now, right? I think people are going to see blood in the water, because the scariest team in the postseason, I think, would have been the Lakers, especially if they could have got Sacramento in the first matchup. They would have had the ability, I believe, to maybe get an opportunity to win a playoff series. Now the season is over. Now you have to think long term. What this team's going to look like going forward? Because I don't know what the contracts are after the season for all the moves that they made, but they have to figure some stuff out. And it's unfortunate, but it's part of the game. When you get older and you're a big guy like LeBron, a foot, that's tough, man. I hope it's not Liz Frank. Yeah. We don't know if it's plantar fasciitis or it's fascia tore, right, which is actually a good thing if it tore instead of just being inflamed. But we don't know what the future is. And with that being said, I don't know what the future of the Lakers season is.
So, Bart, I had said this last year when JWill Embiid got hurt. I said, before it's all said and done, we will be talking about what James Harden can't do, right, more so than what we will be talking about what James Harden can do.
Sure.
Now, we saw James Harden come into his new deal and I'm willing to take less money. He can still get more money on the back end, but you're seeing that gamble, right? And I firmly believe it's going to be the same thing about LeBron James being out right now. I mean, this team is, 5-9 this year without LeBron James playing on the court. And think about the setup material. This is all classic setup material, Bart. Yeah. So they have the easiest remaining schedule per ESPN analytics out of any team in the NBA, right? They're fighting they're a game and a half out of the 6th seed position.
Right.
So you're sitting there thinking, okay, Anthony Davis, you should be enough. Now, Bart, let me give you the names that are going to be playing with Anthony Davis here, right? D'Angelo Russell isn't playing, right? So you got guys like Malik Beasley, Rui Hachimura, Austin Reeves. So the real question comes back to, can Anthony Davis carry that team and get them to the playoffs? And like I said before, man, like it's not a knock on AD, but when I think about LeBron James, he is him. Yeah. When I think about Giannis, he is him. When I even think about Jokic, I'm like, Jokic, he is him. I think about AD, I don't see AD being involved in that MVP conversation. Like, he's another tier because I can't rely on him to carry my team each and every night. He can be a critical piece to winning a chip, but he can't carry my team where the other guys can, Bart.
Wasn't it 3 years ago when LeBron was rated the number 1 player in the NBA and it was Anthony Davis was number 2? The year after they won the title, what was that, 3 years ago?
In the bubble, yeah.
In the bubble. Like how quickly he's fallen, because the Anthony Davis that we know from New Orleans carried teams. And what I get concerned with.
They didn't really go to, they went to the playoffs a couple times. Right, one time they had a deep run, but it wasn't.
Yeah, but he was an MVP talent. It was a point.
Yes, I agree.
When he first got there, that we're having a discussion: who's the better player, him or Giannis? And since then, how quickly the narrative has changed. We know the talent is there. We just don't know if the durability is there, because they're going to need him to put in major minutes. And then what happens if his body breaks down? Then all is lost, because then even if LeBron James is even able to come back, what is he coming back to? Because whenever we've asked Anthony Davis to really grind and put the team on his back is broken.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus right now.